Erie and Williamette. For its size, is the largest steam-operated railroad in America. And with the expansion of Tidewater, the railroad can expand into the farther northern and western parts of the west coast of America. This is the Erie and Williamette Chronicles. Hi there, TopHatt. What's got you in a sour mood? Well, I prefer not to talk about it. Let me guess, did the bedbug spike you? Well, I almost made myself laugh. Shut up. Now, hold on there, TopHatt. What do we say about being negative here? Section 5, Rule 34 of the Charter Handbook says that all engines should not be negative in a positive work environment. That's right. Now, let's say that you come over here and refuel yourself. I hope you don't realize that you're on the wrong switch. I am. Look at you. You're so worked up you didn't even switch the points properly. Always makes me laugh. But hey, still got plenty of work to do. So you might as well rest up quickly before the next shift comes in. That will be a good day. And girls, today I decided to call, or at least some of you, to see one of our newest switch engines, Ben. The last few surviving C16s that I managed to get my hands on. Now, this may not apply to all of you, but Reggie, this is going to be one of your newest partners, so he will be helping you with some other switch work along the railroad. And as a promotion, I will also be granting you two granted access to the Tidewater rail yards. This will allow so that both of you can work on the two major railroads that have merged into ours. I expect you both to get together with each other. Hello there. I love this guy already. He just made a meme reference from Star Wars in 2018. What a classic. See, now finally someone actually gets my references. Anyways, my name is Ben. Obviously, as your train master told me, I'm one of the last few C16s actually ever operable. And to whoever is Reggie here, which one of you is Reggie? That, would be me. Oh, cool. You're a C18. You're an O18. Well, excuse me. It's been a while since I've seen one of you guys before. That's so. You got any other specific O18s that you've seen before? Oh yeah! You're on some rail series called the Erie and Williamette. I don't know where this is made or anything. Wait a minute. Are you okay, Ben? It's gone awfully quiet. You know what? Never mind. It doesn't matter. I was just thinking for some reason. Well, that's very good to hear. Anyways, as for the rest of you, wait a minute. Reggie, may I ask, why do you have smoke deflectors on you? You're a switch engine, and the last time, if I recall, you using them was for a tourist train. I don't know, I was sleeping one night and then I woke up and I found these attached to me. I don't even like them in the first place. I asked Boris, our mechanic, but he didn't say anything. Oh well. nothing to the matter. Anyways, as for the rest of you, continue on with your normal jogs. And Reggie, I want you to show Ben around the railroad. Show him the ropes. Show him where our lumber yard is, and show him where our coal transfer is. If he hasn't already surveyed our main yard here, maybe you could take him to Tidewater, but I highly doubt you will have enough time to do that. Well, if it's better than shuttling tankers, full of diesel fuel, then yeah, I'm in. That's very good. Now everyone, continue on with your normal jobs. Your job is on your clipboard roster on your cabins. If not, your drivers have not collected them already. Unfortunately, I am running a little bit busy right now, so I will make this very quick and very painless. Wait, painless? Trainmaster, what was that? You know, I haven't slept at all in a few weeks. Anyways, I'll be off now. Take care, everyone. Okay, that was slightly awkward. So, Ben, why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit? I'm curious to see what background you had, considering since you come from the B&O. Oh, well, thanks for asking. What's your name? Nick. I'm an Erie J2. My name is Ron. I am a CNO H8 Allegheny. I'm Cassidy. I'm a Southern Pacific P10. And you've met me before. I'm Reggie at 018A. Well, I appreciate you all giving me your names. Anyways, I was built in 1912 by Baldwin, and during the same year, the Baltimore and Ohio bought tons of my class for their small harbor lines. I mainly was just a default user, as my old trainmaster called it. I was just limited to switching operations, and I got an occasional local freight train and I gave to local businessmen, but it didn't last very long. A lot of our tracks were very uneven during the passing years, and because of the heat, you'd think, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Because of the coastal weather that we get at the Baltimore and Ohio, the rails became rather awkward, in a sense. For instance, since we were by the harbor lines, you'd think that if the rails got hot, the water by the waves would cool them down. Well, that did the opposite, basically. Our rails kept getting chewed up by the salty water in the waves, and eventually it caused quite a problem. Moving forward, a lot of my class was actually changed classification to C16As, and a few of them were given tenders. However, thankfully, as being number 98, I resigned as one who, well, remained unchanged. Anyways, after our railroad had a bankruptcy crash, all of our engines were abandoned, and I was one of the few that was still remained at the harbor, and I was left in a shed. It was kind of cold, kind of damp, and, well, it smelled like salt water, basically. Around 1933, a special man came knocking on my door, and when he opened the shed door, he found me. A big, well, steaming lump of scrap iron.
What's that steaming lump of scrap iron doing here? Be off with you! Scrap iron? Steaming scrap iron? Ha!
And he decided to take me in. What I didn't realize, though, was that he was the owner of a small tourist railroad that actually worked a harbor line. And because of his, well, fascination for old engines, he decided to buy me. Well, I wouldn't say buy me, he kind of just took me. The only thing I have no recollection of, or any knowledge of, is where our trainmaster went. He disappeared. He was off the grid. After the bankruptcy, he left with all his money, and he pretty much vanished. The report is, well, of him missing is gone, but, you know, he's gone. He abandoned a lot of us. As for the rest of my brothers and sisters, well, they didn't last very long. A lot of them either rusted away to the point where they couldn't be fixed, or some of them were scrapped. And it was a pretty unfortunate scrapping. But from that point on, I worked on a tourist railroad and kept my original paint scheme, as you're seeing now. And after that tourist railroad eventually died off, your trainmaster contacted my driver and gave me a job. and I wouldn't be here without your trainmaster standing here today. Such a sad tale. It makes a man cry. Come on, Ron, you're not actually gonna cry, are you? Of course not, it's sarcasm. Jesus. Well, that's pretty much my work story, basically. Reggie, right? Reginald, was it that? Something like that? You had it right the first time. It's Reggie. I knew that. Do you want to show me around the yard a little bit? Maybe give me an insight of where everything goes and where everything is? That'd probably be a good idea, huh? Alright, well, I'll meet you over there. I gotta get my little behind moving. Sounds good. I'll definitely meet you. Wait, Reggie, where are you going? Where do you think I'm going? I'm going to the lumber yard. Just take the main line. You'll see me there. Guys, is he always that mean? He's a nice engine. But, well, we'll explain that later. You might as well get yourself moving. That sounds like a good idea. Oh, good. You made it. Finally. Jesus, Reggie. Thanks for leaving me in the dust, but I guess it's just a training regimen or something. Welcome present. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Anyways, this is one of our many coal yards. We pretty much just mine coal out of the ground from an offset site, and then we ship it up here. It eventually gets loaded into cars, but I think I misplaced this somewhere. Whoa, this is an impressive coal yard. I haven't seen one this big since I went to Virginia, like, many years ago. That's pretty cool. You know, Ben, I think we're gonna be okay working together. What do you think? No, Reggie? I think we will get used to working with each other. I think we're gonna have a blast. You said it there, pal. Anyways, we should probably get going to the next stop. We wouldn't want to, well, bore each other out by staying here. Now, would we? Yeah, great idea. Well, right then, let's get going. Maybe you can push. I want to see how strong you are. Alright, here you go. Whoa there. Excessive there, don't you think? I'm a saddle tank. I was built for this. No kidding. Meanwhile, back at the yard, Cassidy was just departing to take the Rockefeller Limited. These coaches are still a little heavy. Well. And Nick about to take a local freight train of boxcars over to the nearest town. The two leaving the yard, there was just Ron, all alone in the middle of the yard. Trainmaster, on my roster, there's no jobs. Are you sure there's nothing I can do? Because I'd rather do something else than sit here in the middle of the yard alone. Real Ron, if you were that desperate for work, there is some gondolas of scrap metal at the back of the yard. If you want to take those, then you can. However, that train isn't due for the next 3 weeks. At least until it's full. Honestly, Trainmaster, that's probably the best thing I'm able to do all day. I'll go and pick those up right now, shortly. Well, that's good to hear. At least you'll be able to get some other space out of the yard, even though it's empty. Meanwhile, along the line, TopHatt was just reaching the Erie and Williamette yard. Who knows what he's going to be playing. By the time I'm done with this railroad, it's going to be a whole new place. Wait a minute. That looks like Cassidy. Well, let's give a friendly greeting, shall we? Oh, his coaches seem a little bit heavy. Wait a minute, is that an engine? Hey, you there! You better stop! Driver, stop! I say. Hey, South Pacific, you're on the wrong line. Can't you see that I have the higher priority? Higher priority, my tender? You almost caused an accident. Don't you realize the level of stupidity that you have just caused? Stupidity, you say? Say, that looks like my passenger train, isn't it? Who do you think you are to say that this is your train? I don't even recognize you. Oh, but Cassidy, I've been here the whole time. Wait a minute. I recognize that voice. Dear God, it can't be. Yes, my darling, it is me, the wonderful TopHatt. The one that you so desperately took away my passenger service. What are you doing back here? I thought you were sent away to the other railroad. Oh, but darling, I escaped. Those clueless electric engines don't know what the heck they're thinking of. They can't even count to 4. Why are you laughing like that? This better not be some plan to sabotage my passenger service, isn't it? Oh, contraire. You see, I've come to take revenge. Revenge? On who? Part of my revenge is in front of me. Reverse, driver, reverse, reverse! Oh, but darling, where are you going? I thought you said that those cars were too heavy for you. Stay back, you creep! Ooh! Now, that's no way to treat a guest. Now, is it? Driver, help me! Sorry, Cassidy, there's nothing I can do. All I can do is either sit here or bail. Either one of them is disturbing. Either one of them won't... Can't you come out here and manually uncouple him for me? Can't you do it yourself? Oh, never mind. Haha, I've got you in my sights. Now then, Cassidy, answer me this one question. Where is Ron? I have to pay him a visit. Oh, Ron! I'm back, big boy. Wait a minute. Fancy voice. Weird accent. No. It can't be. Dear God, it's not true. That's right, big boy. I'm back. And I seek revenge. Dear God, it can't be true. This has to be a nightmare. A dream of some sorts. Yes, darling. I'm back. And I'm better than ever. What happened to you? You're not streamlined anymore. Oh, you noticed, haven't you? Well, let me tell you the whole story. Ever since that blasted trainmaster sent me to the other railroad, to which he did not disclose where, I was sent to the Milwaukee Road, the Avery-Drexel Division. It was one of the helliest times I could have happened. The engines there were horrible. They were electric, and they were hillbillies. They had no intelligence whatsoever, and the engines that I met there were either too mean or too salty. The worst part about it was that they weren't groveling at my feet. They didn't even flinch under the sight of a streamlined K4 PRR steam engine. I mean, seriously, wouldn't they have some kind of respect for an engine of my stature? Well, depends on how you look at it. I mean, sure, the Milwaukee Road doesn't have any streamlined engines, or at least not of that division, but I don't think they would really enjoy a PRR engine on an electrified railroad. Pah! Preposterous! They shouldn't have groveled at my feet, saying that they would have enjoyed a streamlined steam engine at the site of the railroad, let alone on their own rails. But moving forward, after I arrived, they told me to visit their mechanic, as they said I needed some changing. After I visited there, they locked me in there for 5 hours, and they did this to me. They took away my streamlining. They practically rebuilt me from the bottom up. Starting from my frame, they took off every bit of streamline they had, revealing this, my undercoat. They practically rebuilt me. It was the saddest time. I lost my streamlining, the one thing that made me myself. And after the few months that I spent there, never to return, I sought revenge. TopHatt, think about this. Think about history. Why would you want revenge on all of us? We were just brutally honest. We never abused you. We never tortured you. In any way, we just thought you as another engine. To put it specifically, you were the one that should have been groveling at our feet. You should have been groveling for asking for forgiveness for all the stupid tasks that you have done. You were such an ignorant, unintellectual individual who absolutely had no respect for any other engine on this railroad. You thought you could do it all, and the one time when we gave you a freight duty, you absolutely, purposely failed to complete the task. That's because Kobo's dirty. An engine of my stature would not need such filthy objects trailing behind him. Because of TopHatt's countless arguments before, Ron has learned to become very wise and know the best comeback for any situation. So, you don't want filthy objects trailing behind you, huh? Well, answer me this, TopHatt. What's behind you? What's behind your engine? Are you an idiot? It's a tender. And what's in the tender? Coal. I thought you said coal was a dirty object. Precisely, and because I have a coal... No! You... Nice going, Ron. Now you hit the nail on the head. Now you should finish this. I'm gonna let this keep going. I'm actually interested to see how this plays out. Not only have you insulted me and my tender, but you've also made one of the worst comebacks in history. Comebacks? That was just a roast. Better not even a roast. It was just a wise saying. I've grown, or I say I've gotten better since you left, TopHatt. Proving my point of you being an ignorant engine. All the countless arguments you've had when I had to supervise you, I've learned to make comebacks of your pointless arguments. Therefore, I'm able to make perfect statements which will contradict anything that you say. So go ahead. Try me, TopHatt. Try me. That's it! I have had absolutely enough of this railroad. You can all just burn in hell.
Hey! No swearing on my profile! No hex, no bricks.
I'll be back for you, Ron. You're gonna wish the day that you were never built.
Bye, have a great time.
What was I just witnessing? That fireman was TopHatt, trying to get revenge on me. From all the things that I've seen TopHatt do, the most that he's done, or at least the most gutsy move, is to come back to my railroad and try to get revenge on an engine. Honestly, I have to say, it's pretty sad. I'd hate to see, well, I wouldn't say I really hate to see, but I kind of hate to see TopHatt like this. I mean, he used to be cool. I mean, he was a pretty flashy engine, I will admit. I mean, I'll never get that kind of streamlining in my time. But from what I just saw, I think TopHatt needs help. Grandmaster, in any consideration, would you bring a TopHatt back? Well, Ron, in pure honesty, I really can't say that I would. I mean, look at it. Cassidy is already taking TopHatt's role, and she's doing a much better job than TopHatt ever did with his passenger service. He was like James from Thomas and Friends, absolutely mucking about and saying that he's the #1 engine. I know this may turn into a Thomas and Friends episode reference, but good things come and go. Engines come, engines go. New things get replaced. You have to get adapted to change. And that's one thing TopHatt can't do. Adapt to change. Oh shoot, I forgot we're supposed to be narrating here. I say it's not fair. That Ron gets all the attention, and what do I get? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Why does my life have to be so poor? I guess this is the part where we're supposed to nurture him, isn't it? Yep. A pair it has to be. Why aren't you supporting me? You're the driver, you're the fireman. You're supposed to give support to your engine. Not if our engine's a spoiled, ignorant, stuck-up, precious little princess that absolutely just so desperately needs all the attention. Yeah, we'll give support, alright. Brutally honest support. You guys are the worst driving fireman I've ever had. I wish you could all go away. Hey, Steve. You thinking what I'm thinking? Ditch the engine. Absolutely correct. Wait, what? No! You come back! Don't leave me here! Sorry, TopHatt, we're leaving. Bye. They actually left me. Oh! I'm hopeless. I don't even have a driver or a fireman. I'm just an engine. Nothing else. Nothing more. Nothing less. I wonder who this could be. Wait a minute. That looks like TopHatt. Hey, TopHatt, over here. How? How did you even get here? I know this guy who knows a guy. He was able to get me a Grantway access pass out of the PRR and get a straight shot through Virginia and over to the Milwaukee Road. So what's a sorry slut like you doing here? My crew has just abandoned me and I failed at taking revenge. At what? Previous railroad? Exactly. Exactly. My own railroad. Well, TopHatt, I know a little someone who can help. Who? Who's they? Isn't it obvious? The CSX. Who else would I be talking about that your railroad hates? You bloody genius! Of course! Instead of taking revenge myself, we could start an uprising. It would be like long-term rivalry. There you go, that's the spirit. That's the insane TopHatt that I used to remember. Say, what happened to your streamlining? If I recall, you used to be a streamlined K4, not a post-war. This wretched railroad took away my streamlining and basically rebuilt me. Now I'm just a post-war K4 like I used to be. Oof, that's a little bit harsh. Well, tell you what. How about you and me tomorrow go to the CSX and get revenge on that railroad that you desperately want to? My friend, who's to say that we can't start now? Let us begin.